Hey, Standing Simmer here today, and welcome back to the channel for another apartment renovation in The Sims 4. Now guys, it's been a little bit of time since I did something like this. To be honest with you, this is kind of to fill a spot in my week this week that normally is taken up by a build, but later in the week, we'll have a build instead. So my schedule this week, the week that you're seeing this, is a little strange compared to what it normally is, but just in case you're keeping up with my schedule, there's some information for you. If you're not, and this is just kind of like, oh, and a cool apartment build, then welcome, glad you're here. But I just wanted to let you guys know that. Like I said, Tuesdays, which is the day that this is probably going up on the channel, is normally a day where I upload a build. Specifically here recently, it's been a build for my Building Up Windenburg series. Last week was actually an exception to that. We did a really cool base game only Mediterranean speed build, which you should check out if you would like, because it was so cool. I still have absolutely no idea exactly how that all came together as well as it did, but that was the build last week. But like I said, for the most part, typically builds on Tuesdays are for my Building Up Windenburg series. Unfortunately, this means that for at least a couple of weeks in a row, I will not put out a build for that series. So if you're keeping up with that, I'm sorry about that. That's kind of just due both to the fact that I have to go down to like 3 or 4 uploads a week, and the fact that there are a couple of other things that have been filling those slots here recently, which are all very exciting things, don't get me wrong, but just in case, like I said, you're keeping up with my schedule and that's good information for you to know, then that's the information for you. But today, guys, like I said, we are building an apartment, renovating an apartment. I still don't exactly know what word to use as the verb there, but renovating, I guess, is a pretty good one to stick with. So guys, we're renovating an apartment in, I think this is the Hakim house district over in the Arts Quarter, and this is honestly one of my favorite apartments in the entire game, in the entire city of San Myshuno. It's just a really cool apartment. It has a pretty good layout. The windows are fantastic. It's a great place to even have like several Sims. I feel like this is an apartment that you could have quite a few Sims and have them live pretty comfortably. But guys, specifically today, we are doing an apartment that is in what ends up being more of like an elegant industrial style. Now, I don't know, not being a design student, not understanding much about architecture, I really don't know if that is an oxymoron. I don't know if those two terms mesh well together, but that's kind of how I saw this style as it developed over the course of putting together this apartment. My main inspiration for this apartment was the fact that my grey generation heir for Not So Berry needed a new place to live. So once she moved out of her parents' home and kind of got going on her own, I needed somewhere to move her and her kids. Not going to say much more about that, because in a couple of days time when I put out my current household update on the family, you guys should definitely check that out to find out what kind of a mess I'm hinting at right there, because oh my gosh, it was kind of a mess, like I say. But I kind of needed a place to put her and her children, and this was a really good place because it was a fairly inexpensive apartment itself. The rent here is only like just over 1,000 simoleons. It's really not too bad, but I really wanted to fill it with a really cool style of furnishing. For some reason, I always picture Grey Generation of Not So Berry to have an industrial style. I've actually done that a couple of times, and I just think that the two fit together really well. But at the same time, I wanted to make sure that there were a lot of items, once again, that fit more the elegant theme as well. So it's not just purely industrial, it's not just blacks and browns and grays, but instead you also get some, like a conglomeration of some higher class looking items, like some paintings and some specific items that just make it look a little bit more nice. So like I said, I don't know if those two styles actually go together, but I feel like that this apartment, when it's all said and done, is actually a really nice apartment, and I've really been enjoying playing in this apartment as well. Like I said, I have been playing with it with my Grey Gen Not So Berry heir. And if you guys are interested in current household updates, I'm sorry that so far I've plugged like 2 of my own videos in this video, but if you're interested in current household updates specifically for the Not So Berry challenge, then I do have that running on the channel too, just in case you haven't come across those yet. And I've really been having a good time playing that challenge. In case some of you don't know, I have played the challenge through a couple of times already. This is my 3rd go around, but it's something I'm really still enjoying because I've managed to make the gameplay even a little different, especially since this is a 3rd go around. So there are certain ways that I'm actually changing up the gameplay to still make sure that it's not so berry, that it's still in accordance with the rules, but so that I don't get bored because it's something I've done multiple times. So back to the fact that it is for a Grey Generation heir, you'll find a couple of items in here that are definitely more a nod to that generation. Of course though, this is an apartment that you can move a variety of Sims into. So if you just have a couple of Sims that are needing somewhere to live and that they have certain styles, then you could definitely move them in here and have a couple of really cool skill building items and things like that for them to use. A couple of things that I put in this apartment that again were more of a nod to the Grey Generation were of course the karaoke machine, which you may have seen go in there just a second ago, and we have like the parenting board because parenting is a really big part of the Grey Generation too. Now of course athleticism, if you're familiar with the Grey Generation Not So Berry, you'll know that being an athlete is also really important to that generation. But I don't actually put much in the way of like fitness skill building items in this room or in this apartment as a whole. The main reason for that is that I was really not wanting to like give myself an excuse to leave my Sims in their apartment like all the time, because if I make sure that my Sims have everything they need in an apartment, then they will never leave that apartment. I am actually very content in The Sims, just like in real life, to leave my Sims at home for days and days and days on end and not actually venture out unless they absolutely have to. So for that reason, I made sure that when it comes to building the fitness skill, of course you could jog outside. That's one way you could do it if you really, really don't want to leave the apartment too much, or if you don't want to leave the lot per se. But of course you could also just travel to a gym and build the skill up that way instead. So while there are no skill building items for fitness in this build, there are some for karaoke and a little bit for parenting, not too much. Another thing I really enjoy when putting together an apartment with a nod to the industrial style is that you can put in a lot of plants, and I really like that just kind of scattered here around the apartment. There are a lot of like plant items and things like that just kind of all over the place. I also do leave in a lot of stuff like the furnishing of the bathrooms, which I don't typically do. This apartment was already floor planned prior to me starting up this video. I did that off camera and then just like let you guys pick up with me after that. But this way you do still get a pretty good idea of though what's going on in the floor plan. So I also, like I said, let you see the furnishing of the bathrooms, which turned out pretty cool if I do say so myself. Bathrooms are definitely not something that I would say I do super well, which is one of the main reasons that I don't leave them in my furnishing videos or my building videos or anything too often. It's not super interesting, but these bathrooms were slightly unique shaped compared to what my bathrooms typically tend to be, and I fit a lot of stuff in them, so I wanted to kind of leave them in. And this video just as a whole wasn't too ridiculously long anyway, so I didn't think it would be too bad to leave them in this footage. So guys, all in all, this apartment has 2 bathrooms, 2 bedrooms, and one of the bedrooms I furnish as a children's bedroom, which you'll see here getting to just a little bit. That is actually one of my favorite bedrooms I think I've ever done for kids, and that's saying quite a lot because not just on YouTube have I done a lot of bedrooms, but off YouTube as well when it comes to furnishing bedrooms for my kids and things like that. But guys, it is such a cool bedroom, so I'm really excited for us to get to that point in the footage. But then of course there's also like a master bedroom, which is for my main sim as well. So yeah guys, really enjoy this apartment, and I can say that it's player tested because I have been playing in this apartment too. So guys, it is available for download on the gallery. I think I called it like, I forget now. I don't know if it's called Elegant Industrial. It's been a few days ago at least since I built it, but guys, it is up on the gallery. I will have that linked in the description as I have been tending to do here recently. So if you guys would like to download it, you certainly can do so, or if you'd like to search for it on the gallery directly, my user is standingsimmer, and I also know that I put it under the hashtag standingsimmer as well. So if by chance you just aren't able to really find it with just searching for the name or searching for my name, hopefully at least the hashtag will get you there, because I've noticed in the past that using hashtags on the gallery has been, I know it's been broken in the past. There have been times when hashtags just do not work on the gallery, but then it seems like there are other times that that's the only way I can find certain things, and that's been more since the gallery had its whole update when it comes to searching for people and builds and things like that. Sometimes just searching their name just does not work for me, but searching for a hashtag will. I don't exactly know how that works. It's kind of weird, but it has been working for me for the most part. So guys, I am just like, this is kind of random, but I am so excited for the onset of new content in The Sims. I know, actually, I tell you what, I want to say that even maybe the day that this is going up, October 2nd, 2018, is that right guys, that we're supposed to have a live stream from The Sims that's discussing new and upcoming content? I'm just now kind of remembering that I thought I had heard that somewhere, and the thought just crossed my mind because I was just about to mention how excited I am for new content, and I think we might actually hear something this week. So it's possible that shortly after, or maybe around the same time that this video is going up on a Tuesday, we should hear something or be hearing from the Sims team about new content, which I'm so excited for. Obviously, always ready for new content in The Sims. And it does seem like here recently there have been pretty large spans of time, like where we'll get something pretty cool and then it will go a while without hearing anything at all. And like, you know that the Sims team is working on stuff because they tell you they're working on stuff, but there's just been no indication as to what it might actually be. I've heard a lot of speculation, which I know it's kind of, speculation can be frustrating sometimes because you just don't really know, you're just guessing. And hearing people just guess over and over and over again with no actual, factual information can be frustrating sometimes. But I've heard a lot of speculation that there's potential for it to be another game pack. I personally don't know if it's going to be another expansion, since we did get one just a few months ago. I don't know if the Sims team is able to create that kind of turnaround. I want to say that maybe they did when The Sims was first, like just a brand new game. Guys, again, I wasn't in the simming community that early on, but were the first 2 expansion packs released in the same fiscal year or no? Because I really don't know. But I don't know if they would have had the potential to release something as large as Seasons just a few months ago and then release another something that large a little later in the year. I really don't know if that's the case. I think it's probably going to be something like a game pack, but I really just have no idea, obviously. So guys, if you would like, weigh in the comments. Let me know what you guys think the next pack is going to be. I assume that's what they're going to be talking about. We might also be getting some brand new free content in October. I know that I saw a tweet by Sim Guru Kate about that. So hopefully this month's patch, the month of October patch, should bring some free content. Maybe with regard to like Halloween, maybe it's some more like some seasonally themed items, because we did just get seasons this year. Perhaps it's something completely different, I don't know. But I'm also really hoping that there will be some information on a new pack if we're getting something like that. That would be oh so cool. I would love that a lot. But guys, we've already kind of moved on past furnishing that kid's bedroom that I told you about, and the number of beds in that bedroom does not necessarily indicate the number of kids that my sim has. Again, kind of going to be vague on that one because I explained it all in the current household update that's coming later in the week. As with the rest of my schedule being kind of different this week, it's not going to be going up on Saturday like they normally do, because Saturday is the day that this big build collab thing that I've been a part of is dropping. So my current household update has been moved up to Thursday, as long as everything goes according to plan. My Family Dynamics Challenge LP episode will still be up on Friday, once again, if everything goes according to plan. It's been recorded, I just have to make the time to edit it. Pretty much, which I know sounds like it's not that big of a deal, but it can kind of be kind of a big deal sometimes, kind of depending on what's going on. But yeah, guys, really love that kid's bedroom. Of course, it is purple plum themed because plum is the next generation to take over in the Not So Berry Challenge, so it goes gray and then plum. I've really been having a good time theming each generation pretty heavily. Like, I've even had the spouses slash partners of my Sims to be the color of the next generation, so that when the next generation is born, it's almost like genetics had a part to play. I just have been having a really good time playing with the color of it. I've also been experimenting with recolors for my Sims' hair, even when they're toddlers and children, which has been a lot of fun, because that is not something that I did the first go around or the second go around of Not So Berry. But guys, I am gonna go ahead and wrap things up right here. I'm sorry for all the crazy noise going on in the background. It is a Sunday when I'm recording this, and there's a lot of noise on the road right now. But besides all that, guys, I appreciate you tuning in today for this apartment renovation. Once again, you can find it on the gallery. The information for that is down in the description below. But guys, I am gonna go ahead and leave it up right there. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you're having the best of days, and I will see you very soon. Bye!